Like we could go downtown and get
Yeah.
like a drink and walk around and look at the Christmas lights and stuff. Like it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. I mean,
Yeah.
you could just go for a walk and
We
like have someone
we
watch
go to
your
the
kids for
corner
an
bar
hour.
every once in a while,
Yeah,
like
I
we'll
mean,
just
do
go to the
something.
just go sit there in peace and quiet without the kids and just have an adult
Yeah,
conversation with no input from the peanut gallery.
right.
So,
Because that's the thing. It's like what are some like ideas for like a
yeah.
mom's night out or like a spouse's night out or whatever
Well,
you want to do, you know?
like we've got, the water. We're right on the water here, and we like to like just go down by the bridge because we've got Canada, Sarnia's on the other
Hmm.
side, and we've got the Blue Water Bridges right there, and we'll just go down there. We'll sit, we'll walk, whatever we feel that day. Maybe we'll get ice cream or something. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really easy. And then we've got the boat in the summer,
Hmm.
so he and I can go out in the boat and just,
Right.
even if it's just down the river, we're not even going into the big lake. Hi, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of She's Got It Together. I'm your host, Jessica.
And I'm Samantha. Each week we peel back the curtain on what it really looks like to have it together.
From the messy moments to the milestones, we're here to share it all.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive into today's topic.
All right, today we're going to dive in a little bit about how we make time to mingle with our friends, whether they're moms or just girlfriends. Sam, so
Yes.
let's start with you here, and why don't you share a little bit about how you actually make this possible when you have a new baby at home? Well, a 1-year-old at home. He's newer
Yeah,
than
I
mine.
mean, it's definitely still challenging. One, I think like as like a mom or a new mom, you feel like you can't leave or that like it's like selfish of you
You
to
shouldn't. Yeah.
go. Yeah, like you just feel guilty leaving, I think, or you're worried to leave, or, whatever the reason is. I feel like as a mom, it's really hard to plan things and get everybody together. And sometimes it can just be so overwhelming that you're just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stay home.
Hmm.
But um, I feel like for me, it's been huge to just get out and see friends for just like a couple hours. Because in the
Yeah.
beginning with Bo, we didn't like Brett and I, like we didn't do anything. We didn't go anywhere other than like we went and like saw our family and like went up to our cottage and, ran errands with Bo and things like that. But we didn't take any time like for ourselves, like alone or even just the two of
Yeah.
us together. And I think like with Brett and I, we had Bo in October, the end of October. We didn't, I mean, we went on a work trip to Florida for 3 months in March. For
Oh,
three
yes.
months,
For
not
three
3 months,
months.
for three,
Wow.
for 3 days. He
That's
was
right.
three
We
months
did.
old.
We did do
Um,
that.
and like that was huge. Like I was like, breastfeeding the time, so I had to pump everything. And like as like a breastfeeding mom, like it is harder to leave because you
Yeah.
have to, have a supply ready and like
A
save
lot
and
of
it takes a
planning.
lot of time, a lot of planning. So that was a lot, but I knew in advance, so it was okay. But like as far as like we didn't do anything, I don't think until like June of that next year. Like it was a long time. We went to a friend's wedding and we just went for the night, like or like for the wedding we came home that night. But I mean, that was the first thing that Brett and I did together alone, like without Bo since he was born. And we were just like, "Oh my God, like what did we do?"
Did you have
I
things to
mean,
talk about
we had all this
other
time.
than
Like
the
they
baby?
well, that's the thing. You a lot of times you're talking about the baby, and it was like our first time really away from him, so we were like thinking about him. But we were at a wedding, so it was fun. And we had people there that we knew, but we were just like, we have to do this more. Like
Yeah.
like this is too
It's for
long. We
your
need time,
relationship. Yeah.
right?
For your
And that's like a
marriage, you need it.
right. That's like a whole other topic. I feel like we could get into. But as far as like a mom's like night out or getting together like with your friends, like I have good girlfriends. Not all of us live in the same city, so we had like I hang out with like my sister Sydney, our sister Sydney a lot, and my friend Sarah, and we'll just get together and like go to brunch on like a Saturday or a Sunday for a couple
Easy,
hours. easy.
non-planny kind of
Yeah.
things, you know?
Well, and even that you have to plan because of people's like schedules, and
Well,
weekends
yeah.
can be hard because you're busy and whatever. So it's like we're like, hey, it's been a while. Like it's like you don't realize how fast like time goes. We're like, it's literally been 2 months and we haven't seen each other. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
life just gets crazy. So you kind of do have to plan a little bit more or just be very intentional about making time for your friends. And a lot of the time, like when Bo was like younger, like our friends would come to us because it was just
Yeah.
easier. Because like Sarah doesn't have any kids yet. Our other friends, if they were like visiting, they'd come see us, or we'd be, back at our hometown and they'd come see us at the house. Like a lot of times it was our friends coming to see us in the beginning, which was really nice and helpful because we could have dinner with them at the house, just have them hang out with Bo, and we all got to get together. So I think just kind of being intentional about getting together, even if it is just them coming over to say hi for an hour, spending time together, meeting for lunch or brunch or whatever. I think you just have to be intentional about giving yourself that time because you need it, and like your friends need it, like they want to see you too, and like
Yeah.
you
It's
just
more than
need to
just
have that.
yourself.
Right. And you want to have that outlet to like talk to them about stuff that you might not want to talk to your husband about, or just getting like a mental break from like your kids, even though you love them so much, just being able to like kind of like
You're
let go of that responsibility for a couple
makes you a
hours
better
is
mom. You know, when you
right.
come
You
back, you
return back.
appreciate it a
Yeah.
little bit more and you just
Right.
a little bit of a different outlook. You're
You're a
not
little more
so
refreshed. Yes.
right.
Like it's huge. I know like whenever I come back, like I'm in a really great mood and I feel refreshed, and it's just
Yeah.
better all around. Cause my like Sydney and I and Sarah all met for dinner at a restaurant downtown in Grand Rapids that's new, that we all wanted to go to. And like we were there for a couple hours, just talked, exchanged Christmas gifts, had like a really nice dinner, and it was great. But it was 2 hours of your time at night. Bo went to
Mm-hmm.
bed. I came home and just kind of like relaxed after that. But it was great. Like just getting together for a couple hours is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. That's true. So we do things a little differently. So it's interesting because I feel like your generation, you had like lots of big groups of friends and things. And then
Mm-hmm.
mine, we were smaller. Like we had like one or two good friends. But with us, like DJ and I were like best friends. Like we're
Well,
married,
you
we're
were
best friends.
together for so long, like at a young
We
age.
were.
You just kind of,
It's just weird. It's like, I mean, even some of the other people that I can think of when we were in high school and stuff, like it was more of a one-on-one relationship as opposed to groups. And I
mm-hmm,
don't know if it was just because that was like the, I don't know,
the
that
times or
time. I don't know. I mean, because technically we're in the same, what are we?
like
What are we,
millennials, aren't we?
Gen? Are we? No, we're
Gen
not
Z?
millennial.
No,
I feel like we're
I don't
Gens.
know. I
I
feel
don't know,
like
but
I'm in the middle.
we
I could be
fit
either
like
or.
even with a 9 year gap, we fit in the same
Yeah.
bucket of whatever
Well,
it
then it
is.
must be like a Gen.
And
God, I don't even know. That stuff
but they're
confuses me.
like the way we did it, it's very different. So
Well, I
when
think it's
we
just
go,
preference too. You might have
yeah,
preferred
it
just
could
having
be.
friends one
Yeah.
on one. You didn't like to be in a big group.
Yeah, that could be. But I mean, so now, it's even though it's like mom's night out, it's with my husband, like it's still like
Right.
when we do things, it's not that I want to go get with a bunch of girlfriends. It's I want to go out with him and we do our thing or whatever. So it's
Yeah.
more of a date night, I guess. But um what we would do is have like couples. Like we have,
Mm-hmm.
we go out with other couples and do it like that. So it's interesting that it's
And
like
we
I
do that
don't
too. It just depends, like we'll
right.
get together with and like a lot of my friends have kids too. And so
Mhm.
like we get together over at their house for dinner with all the
Yeah.
kids. Like our
Hmm.
our friends Dan and Alexa just had a new baby. Like we'll go over there and have dinner and bring Bo because they have 3 kids now.
Yeah. Well, it's
Before it
easy.
was
Yeah.
like they had 1 or 2 and then we didn't have any yet. So it was easy for us to go over to them. And so now like it is harder to get together when all of your
Yeah.
friends have kids because of bedtimes and nap times and just like schedules. So we're kind of getting into this phase where it is harder to hang out with your friends. But it's important to us, so we try to like plan and make
Yeah,
time and do all
definitely.
of that. Like a few, like, gosh, a month ago maybe, it was like um a lot of my girlfriends and I hadn't gotten together in a long time, and we're like, we need to get together, like have like a girls weekend somewhere. So we just went, over to Grand Haven, which is close for us because we just had like the newer babies. Um and so we just all got together, like six of us at a house, and hung out. And honestly, like we didn't even do that much. We just sat
You don't
around,
need
had some
to.
drinks,
Just
talked. Like, yeah, you don't need to like have something to do every second. You just kind of want to
yeah,
be with each other. And like that was my first like real like overnight away from
an
Bo,
excursion
aside from
away.
that work trip. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
was great. It was much needed. Like you just, and it's good for like your kids too, to have that space from you so that they are okay with other people. And like, of course, like he was with his dad, but still, I mean, it's good for him to be with other people,
Well, he's with you
other than
all
just
day
me.
long,
Right.
so
He is
that's
with
like
me all
another
day long.
dynamic. He is
Right.
attached to you
Yeah.
24/7 because
Right.
you work from home. So separation
Absolutely.
with dad is still a big
It's
deal.
still big. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think just being like intentional with your time and those friendships, because you do, like, you can lose friendships easily by not maintaining them, or just being in different phases of life, and
Yes.
during
Different phases.
certain things just like happen, because I know that happened with like one of my friends. Like we just kind of lost touch after like I got pregnant, and like our lives are going in different directions,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason we just kind of fizzled out. And that
Yeah.
happens, and that's okay on both ends. Like it's like
Yeah.
if you do lose friendships over certain things, like that is okay. Like your priorities are changing, but for those relationships that are like there and important and wanting to be in your life, it's important to make time for those.
Yeah. And I think you find new relationships as you
Yeah.
go through life. People that are in your phase, they're
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gosh, whether it's neighbors or I don't know, other
Yeah,
moms at
other
school
kids,
and things
friends.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how that happens, but
And you
because it
can have
definitely
different
is
friends at different times, like that you hang out with. Like I have certain groups that I hang out
different
with
groups. Yeah.
at different
Yeah.
at different times,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I feel like you can have that too. Like there are certain friends that you
It's a
hang out
lot
with
to keep up
together,
with.
and then other friends you don't hang out together. And like I do not have that many friends. Okay. They're just like all from like different parts of life, kind of.
Yeah.
Or they live in different places. So like you see them at different times and things like that. I do not have that many friends. Okay.
You're making it sound like you have oodles and oodles. That's
I do
funny.
not. I do not. I can
That's
probably count
funny.
on like, I don't know, two hands maybe.
No toes.
But a lot of them are like, no, a lot of them are like couple friends too, or like they were
Yes.
Brett's friends and then they became
Well,
my friends and things
one
like
thing that
that.
I've noticed is that we're now in this realm of like hanging out with cousins and
Yeah,
spouses, like we've like
right.
done that. It's
Hmm.
weird how that's all changed and it's not necessarily outside of the family even right now.
Yeah, I feel like we hang out with family a lot. Like
Hmm.
that's, and like I prefer that too. Like it's like I enjoy being with like our family and our
Yeah.
family's
Yeah.
kids and things like that. So I feel like that's always
Yeah.
nice, and it's
Lots
easy,
of dynamics that way. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that does make it easy. But do you still feel as refreshed when you are with family? Like, is there any extra baggage
Um,
that comes up with that?
I
I
feel like
don't
it's
think
definitely
so.
I feel like it's different, but I don't feel like anything
You don't get into
a
the
lot.
family like
No,
politics or whatever.
I
It's
mean, I feel like it's definitely like not as refreshing as if I would go out to dinner with my friends and
yeah.
then just come back home. Like I feel like it's
Yeah,
just more casual hanging out. I might get a little bit more of a break with Bo because because
that's
Bo's
true.
still there. When you're hanging out with family, your kids are still there, so it's
Yeah, because
different.
I'll have them. I'll just steal
Right.
them.
And it's like I do get more of a break because other people want to see him, but it is different than like going out to dinner with your girlfriends or another
Not a true
couple.
disconnect.
It's
Yeah.
right. You're not completely disconnected from your
Yeah,
kids.
that's true.
So it's
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
but
No, that
I
is
mean,
true.
it
Hmm.
is nice, but it's not like you have distance really. I mean, you could, I guess, if you're like, okay, grandparents, go take the kids somewhere. We're all gonna hang out here.
Cousins hang out kind of thing,
Yeah.
like just yeah, that is interesting though. Didn't think about it like that. Because I mean, we do that more often, I think, than with any friends. It's like we hang out with cousins but we do it without
Yeah.
the kids. And it's usually
Yeah.
something adult only, I guess, whatever it is that
Hmm.
we do. But it still feels like for us, we're getting out. We're
Yeah.
it's that mom's night out feel still. Even though I'm always with DJ. Like we do everything
Yeah. And
together
that's the thing. It doesn't even have to be like a mom's night out. It's just a night away from like the pressure of
of your
keeping it
hat
all
or
together. Yeah,
hats.
it's like
Yeah.
you just have like a few hours to just kind of disconnect and either like reconnect with your friends or your spouse or whatever it might be
Yeah.
and just get that mental break because I feel like unless you do that, you don't get it. Because I remember like us like leaving that wedding. We were just like, oh my God, like that was so much fun. I
Wow.
forgot what it was like to be like just to have like the pressure off for a second, just to like be able to like somewhat relax for a minute. It
Right.
was just like we know like we have to like keep doing this. And then of course like we didn't, and then we gosh, what did we do? We went out somewhere again and we were just like, "Oh my God, like why has it been so long? It's been
Why is
months
it
since
so
we've done
hard to
something."
do that? When we know how
Oh,
much
we
we
went
enjoy
to
it.
the yeah, we went to like a couple weeks ago, the Lindsey Sterling concert with Brett's
Oh
parents.
yeah.
And um it was great. We went to dinner and then we went to the concert and then we came home and like Bo was asleep. He was fine. He had a great night with Sid watching him. And it was just like we hadn't done something in
Yeah.
months. And we're like, we have got to like try to do something together with friends, whatever, at least like once a month. It's easier for me to go out with like my girlfriends because Brett can watch him. You
Yeah,
don't have
it's
to get a
it's yeah.
babysitter. You don't have to. And like we don't have a lot of help here in Grand
Yeah.
Rapids. So that's part of the problem. It's like we just haven't found or like wanted to find a
I
babysitter.
was gonna say it,
Um,
yeah.
we've been like putting that off, even though like we really should. But I think that's part of it. It's like we don't have grandparents in town. I have my sister, but she has her own kid, so like I think that's part of it. But we just have to be more intentional, I think, with making the effort to go out because it's
Yeah,
easy
because we
not
don't go
to.
out like we
Yeah.
should, and we can now. We have a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old, they can stay
Yeah.
home by themselves,
Hmm.
and we still don't do it like we should. I
Right.
mean, we really
Well, it
don't.
doesn't even have to like be anything extravagant that costs money. Like you can just go
No.
out for like a walk, like especially right now. Like we could go downtown and get
Yeah.
like a drink and walk around and look at the Christmas lights and stuff. Like it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. I
Yeah.
mean, you could just go for a walk and
We
like have someone
we
watch
go to
your
the
kids for
corner
an
bar
hour.
every once in a while,
Yeah.
like
I
we'll
mean,
just
do
go to
something.
the just go sit there in peace and quiet without the kids and just have an adult
Yeah.
conversation with no input from the peanut gallery.
Right.
So,
Because that's the thing. It's like what are some like ideas for like a
yeah.
mom's night out or like a spouse's night out or whatever
Well,
you want to do, you know?
like we've got, the water. We're right on the water here, and we like to like just go down by the bridge because we've got Canada, Sarnia's on the other
Hmm.
side, and we've got the Blue Water Bridges right there, and we'll just go down there. We'll sit, we'll walk, whatever we feel that day. Maybe we'll get ice cream or something. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really easy. And then we've got the boat in the summer,
Hmm.
so he and I can go out in the boat and just,
Right.
even if it's just down the river, we're not even going into the big lake. We're just putzing, and it's just time away. But we
Right.
don't really have any excuses why we don't do it. I mean, we can use
Right.
the kids as an excuse, but really they are self-sufficient. They can babysit themselves for a couple hours, and they have activities, but they don't have that many. Like we really
Yeah.
don't have an excuse. It is just like we get into our daily grind and forget to come up for air, I
Yeah.
guess.
I think that's the biggest thing. You just get used to your routine. Like you're tired, like you're busy during the week. You don't want to go out. You don't want to do it. But when you do
Yeah.
do it, you feel so
You
much
love
better when
it.
you come back and you're just a
Yeah.
better parent because, when you are just stressed or you're tired or you're just bogged down by the day to day, like having something to look forward to is helpful. And then when you come back
Yeah.
refreshed and reconnected with your friends or your partner, then you're just a better parent all around because you're not I don't
You're
feel
not
like
as
you're
stressed.
right.
Like
You're
you
not as
just,
stressed.
I think it's the stress. I think it's just like
Yeah.
you need that disconnect to remind you of the good
You-
in life and
Right. You
remind
don't
you
have
what
to
you
be like
have. And
on. You don't have to be on all the time. You can like have a
yeah,
second to yourself. And I
yes.
think as moms, that's hard for us to
It's
do.
not selfish, even though it feels
Right.
selfish.
And yeah, and I think that's why it's nice, like if like your friends text you and are like, hey, like let's do something, like let's go to brunch, like let's go to dinner, let's plan
I
something,
love the
because
brunch
then
idea. I love
brunch
that.
is great. I love brunch.
Not
So like
dinner, it's not lunch.
yeah,
It's just like it. It's
yeah.
very cool.
It's great because you can go have a really good like breakfast or lunch or whatever you prefer. Have like a mimosa or a Bloody Mary. Cause like what we'll do is we go do that. We have brunch, then we walk down a little ways to a little like champagne bar and have like a couple cocktails there. And then we go home. And it's like so fun because you're just like talking and I feel
Low
like we don't
key.
stop. Yeah, we don't stop laughing the whole time. You just
Probably
feel
not.
so good when you leave. You're just like, oh my God, we should do that more often. Every time, like I come home saying that. So it's nice when we do get to do that. And like dinner is also great. Dinner is fun. Feels a little bit more
Feels more
like
formal. Like, I don't know, just
formal.
yeah.
Yeah. Or grown up-ish, like you're just
Yeah,
kind
I
of like,
mean, I don't know, just something about the brunch. It's very
yeah,
laid
brunch is fun.
back and
Hmm.
easy. So,
Yeah, and then you don't have to worry. Well, I guess if you brunch on Sunday, then yeah, you have to go to work in the morning, but it's earlier in the
yeah.
day so that you still have the rest of your day to do something with your family
Mhm.
or, dinner, you have to get up and go to work. But gosh, we went to dinner at like 5 o'clock. So it's like the nights feel so late. We're like, oh my
Yes,
God,
yes,
like,
they do.
but I feel like it's so important to make time for yourself, for your friends, and just being able
For
to
your
like
kids, for your family. I mean, they
right,
get the
right,
better version of you when you're happy. So,
right.
definitely something that should be thought of more often than it is. All right. And
So call your girlfriends, call your spouse and tell them that you are going to go to brunch or to dinner. You're going to plan something and you're going to go have some time for yourself as a mom. So enjoy your mom's night
yes,
out or your spouse's night
perfect.
out or whatever you want it to be.
Thanks for joining us today on She's Got It Together. It's been a real journey sharing and laughing with you all.
We hope you're walking away with a smile on your face and a bit more confidence in your step.
Remember, you're not alone in this crazy ride called life. We're all in this together, one day at a time.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and of course, share this podcast with all the incredible women in your life.
Join us next week for more stories, more laughs, and more real talk.
Until then, keep embracing your unique journey and remember, you've got it together more than you think.